Hi everyone, welcome to our masterclass this afternoon. I'd like to welcome you all to come. People are just joining there now, so I might just give it a minute or two for people to come on. There is Mary Claire is going to speak to us here from the Irish Linen House. So she's going to do a mastercraft talk on how they've adapted their business and gone into the making face masks. And they've been inundated, as you can imagine. So there's a chat box at the bottom and a Q&A box if anyone would like to ask questions or speak to Mary Claire, they can just type away. So yeah, I think people are registered there now, Mary Claire, so I'll hand over to you. Thanks.
Great. Yeah, thank you for having me. Hi everyone. So I'll just chat a little bit about kind of how we've adapted our business and making face masks, and I'll chat through it first, and you can type away questions or ask me questions, and I'll take them towards the end. Well, I'm here today in our studio, and we're based in Smithfield. And for anyone who mightn't know, we design and sell tableware and home accessories using Irish linen. So recently we have obviously changed from that, and we're now making linen face masks. So to give you a little bit of a background of how it kind of came about, and I suppose the effects that COVID had, like so many other people, and I'm sure so many can relate, we had to close our doors in March, and it would have been the start of our busiest season. It was just before St. Patrick's Day, and we are located just here on Bow Street, so we're right beside the Jameson distillery, and we would have a very high footfall of tourists coming into us all the time, particularly Americans. We also rely on our wholesale business, and we sell into various retail outlets around Ireland, and everyone obviously has had to close their doors. And in January of this year, we had just launched a rebrand. So, I'm thinking back, we were all at Showcase in January, we had just launched and we had invested in it. And our biggest concern at that was thinking about the effects that Brexit would have. We didn't anticipate at all that this would happen. So it was devastating closing our doors, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, but we have been very fortunate that we were able to adapt. So in terms of how the masks came about, within a couple of weeks, I suppose we noticed that there was a demand and a shortage. And a friend of ours is a pharmacist. So we were talking to her about the properties of our linen, and she was telling us how they had absolutely no face masks, they had no PPE, and they couldn't get access to them because it was just such high demand. And they did actually get in a batch, but they donated them to a hospital who were more in need. So they said, we'd prefer to have linen ones, we'd prefer to have, anything, it doesn't even have to be a medical grade. So we made them for her and her team, and the feedback was amazing. They loved the linen, felt they were really comfortable and breathable to wear, and I suppose that gave us a little bit of the push that we needed to kind of do it and get the wheels in motion. So we started by making a batch purely for donations, and we donated to hospitals and frontline workers, and we donated to some of the cafes and restaurants in our area that were kind of opening up for takeaway basis and collection. And it quickly just grew from there. I mean, we didn't anticipate that so many people would want to buy them. But, I think it was in the height of the lockdown, and there was just a lot of fear. The cases were growing, and we were seeing the effects in other countries. So I think that kind of fear and uncertainty drove it, and people were then getting onto us and looking for masks. So we had to quickly think about how we could adapt to produce in larger quantities. And I suppose initially it did feel like a little bit of a risk. Now there are more guidelines around face coverings and face masks, but initially, there was a lot of uncertainty around how effective textile and cloth masks were compared to medical grade ones. So we had to do a lot of research really before we kind of went out there and sold them. But because of that positive feedback we had, we decided to go for it. So when we were adapting, I mean, we're still kind of learning as we're going, but there was definitely a lot to consider. So firstly, it was a brand new product for us. So with our normal product range and our runners, we pride ourselves on our quality and the craftsmanship of our product. So it was really important for us to maintain this. If we were putting kind of face masks out there, using our linen and under our brand name, we wanted it to be something that we could stand behind and maintain that level of quality. And so we worked really hard and very quickly initially to refine the face masks and get the best kind of fit that we could. So then we also had to upscale our production. So luckily Greg has a background in fashion, and he would have, he'd have a lot of contacts in terms of getting the elastic and upscaling the production, which has been really vital to us, and it helped us to move quite quickly in the beginning. So we started making some of the masks here, but we've also contracted the services of a small factory who normally make garment and garments, and they were delighted to take on some work and help us with it. So that kind of helped us to get the production levels up. Then, we had to consider new packaging. As I mentioned, we had just rebranded, so we had new boxes, but they weren't going to suit for the face mask, so we had to think about that. Distribution was definitely a learning curve for us, and something, we had to really kind of figure out a system that worked for us. We wouldn't have had the level of orders before for our table runners, because we would have relied on our shop and our wholesale and pushed online a little bit. So we really had to get, a good system in place, learn we use Shopify. We just had to get a system for processing and packing the orders. And essentially we've turned the shop here into kind of a mini distribution center. So we are picking and packing all the orders ourselves when they come in. We're cutting all the linen here and everything. So we've reorganized the shop to suit that. Then we also had to think about updating our website. We had to do photography, and really important for us was the messaging that we were putting out there around the masks. So as I mentioned, initially there was uncertainty around how effective they were. So we just had to be really clear in our messaging that they weren't medical grade masks, that they won't protect you from COVID-19, but that they act as a barrier. So we spent a little bit of time on that. And also it was a really good opportunity for us to talk about the properties of our linen and why the linen masks are good to wear. So it has been nice to see the feedback on the linen, and some people do know about it and some people haven't. So it's been kind of a little bit of an education piece for people on linen too. And then in terms of customer service, so we were inundated with requests initially. So, they can contact you from phone, website, all of our social media platforms. And I think it's really important that, whatever way a customer interacts with you, whether it's a Facebook message or a phone call, that they get the same level of experience with the interaction, because they'll remember the brand. So we have been inundated with requests, and we're a small team, so we've been kind of working long hours to keep on top of that, but it's been important for us to do so. And then as well, in terms of the PR, so I suppose we didn't promote the face masks the way we would with other new products that we've had. We didn't feel it was the right way to do it. We're in a crisis and people are in need of the mask, so we kind of considered that. But we were very lucky that there was a lot of media coverage around the masks, and loads of different companies who are making them. And we definitely noticed a spike in our sales every time there was a piece going up about us. So we were on Image.ie, Irish Country Magazine, Sunday Business Post, and then a bigger one for us was we were on News at 1 on RT1 with Claire Byrne. And the spike, we definitely saw a spike from each one. So I think that never underestimate the power that PR and social can have. And then as well as that, we wanted to include a charity element to it. So we kind of said, if we sell a certain amount, we'll do a donation to a local charity in our area, and we were very fortunate to do so. And I think, a lot of we're not the only ones making face masks. There's so many designers in Ireland doing it and further afield. But I think what's been amazing to see is the charity element. Nearly everyone has it, and even though businesses are struggling, they're still trying to give as well, which is really nice to see. And it's really nice for us to be a part of that. And with that, some of the donations that we've done, we've received really nice comments, and there's just a feel good factor to it. And I think that that's kind of keeping us going and motivating us and reinforcing that we are doing something good and something to help during this time. So in terms of kind of positive outcomes that we've seen and a couple of insights, firstly, our customer base. So this has been, I suppose, a real positive for us, but our tableware, we would normally sell a lot to Europeans and Americans that would come into the shop, and we've geared our product range towards those markets. But with this, we've had the opportunity to really expand our customer base in Ireland. And, you know, people have been so supportive of wanting to support local businesses. The fact that they're made here in Dublin and they're Irish linen, as I said, like, it's been a really good chance to show people the quality of our products and the amazing properties of linen. So, you know, we hope that when this is behind us, we'll return to our tableware again, and people will come back to us after the positive experience they've had with the masks, and they'll return again to buy our table linen. And secondly, I think the focus on our online business. So we had focused on our retail and wholesale. We had rebranded in January, so we planned to do a little bit more around our online business, but this has definitely kind of accelerated, I suppose, and we've had more traffic to our website and more traffic to our social platforms as well. So I think to anyone now is a really good time to focus as much as you can on your online business and upskill where you can. Like, there's so many tools available to do that. So we're definitely going to place more focus on our online business after this. And finally, I think, you know, it's been a tough time for so many businesses, but doing this has definitely, and just kind of seeing what's going on, it's definitely shifted our thinking a little bit when it comes to our brand and our products. So, you know, we're thinking about how we can evolve the business going forward and how we can adapt more to the Irish market as well as our international market when that does pick up again, hopefully. So yeah, I think it's been, you know, it's a challenging time, and there's been challenges along the way. And as I said, we're continuing to learn, but overall it has been a positive experience, and like, we're grateful to be in work and be able to come to the studio every day and keep busy. So I suppose I can show you the linen. So I know a lot of you will already know about the properties of linen, but the linen, we source our linen from 2 different weavers in Ireland. It really is a beautiful product to work with, and it's an amazing, strong, one of the strongest fibres. So it's sustainable, 100% Irish linen, and it's ethically produced and eco-friendly. So that's why it's kind of been really nice to use for the masks, because the properties, it's antibacterial and anti-allergenic, so it's suitable for sensitive skin. And we have had a lot of feedback on how nice they are to wear. Some nurses and doctors who are wearing PPE for long hours in the hospitals have said how they've reactions to them. And, you know, you've seen photographs on social media of people with the marks on their face, and they've been wearing the linen ones underneath to help protect. And as well, like, the linen wicks away moisture, so it doesn't hold bacteria. It stays clean for longer because it repels dirt. It's really soft, breathable, and they can be washed and reused as many times. So like I said, we cut them here. So I have a bundle just to show you. So this is about 60 masks after they're cut. So we would cut in batches of about 300 here. So that's what they look like. And then they go out to be sewn. There is 2 layers of Irish linen. So they're the same front and back. So there's 2 layers used. And then this is what they look like when they're finished. So you can see there are 2 layers, and then they've got elasticated loops either end, and then they've a dart in them either side for a neat fit. So like, we have a selection of colours, and then we have male and female sizes. So that is them. I'm just going to take a look at the questions and see if there's anything.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Mary Claire. Thanks for that. There's a few questions there. first of all, people are saying you're excellent in RT1 and well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, as I said, like that definitely is, even as I was still on the radio, the phone was hopping. So it was a great opportunity just to you know, to be on it and get the word out about the masks.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Also that it's fantastic to see that charities are benefiting from all your hard work. But there's a question here. Do you feel that it has raised the profile of your company?
Yes, definitely. I think so. So as I said, we would have sold a lot to the American market, and we would have geared our product range towards that. So it's definitely raised the profile of our brand in Ireland, and a lot of people have said to us that it's brought our linen and our tableware to their attention and that they will return. So, you know, we're kind of gathering, you know, we're, I suppose, working really hard to deliver great customer service and tell everyone about the linen and our products as much as we can, so that hopefully, you know, we're kind of gathering up that customer base and that they'll come back to us. So yeah, I definitely, I think so.
Oh, I think
there's a freeze.
Okay, I'm just going to take over. I think Mary's frozen there.
Yeah.
You were absolutely super on the radio. Yeah, I heard you in the distance, and then a huge number of people spoke to me afterwards, saying, you know, that it's just brilliant. So I'm glad that traffic did come to you after that, right? Okay. Someone wanted to mention that himself and his wife are using these masks on a daily basis out here in Germany, and we're very happy with the quality and the look of them. Okay.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, very happy, really good approach, and thanks for sharing. We have commented on all your wonderful work for charity, which is absolutely brilliant. Okay, do you know much about insurance and insurance companies covering the product?
No, I'm sorry, what's that question? Okay. If they're able to expand on it.
Right. Someone's asking that they can't find out whether insurance companies will provide product cover for a face covering. How did you overcome this?
I'll have to look into that and get back to you. Yeah. But if you want to link up with me afterwards, yeah, I'll look into it with the team here and get back to you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's probably putting you on a spot, but I'm sure you were able to work through that piece. So anyway, everybody's delighted that you've been sharing all your wonderful experiences. It's really admirable, the work you've been doing, and I think those customers are going to stick with you afterwards.
So, and Emer, see, there's one other question there, Mary. You're saying the masks are fantastic and great hearing about your story, but just wondering, what are your plans, social media, etc., for promoting other linen products to retain those new customers that you're getting from the masks?
Yeah, so I mean, as I said, it's definitely shifted our thinking, and even our, you know, we're thinking differently about our product range and how we will kind of evolve that going into the future. We've been focusing our production on the face mask at the moment because we're a small team, and we're trying to keep up with the demand. So we haven't massively pushed our other products yet. We're still selling some of our tableware. You know, people are kind of going onto the website, buying masks and seeing some other pieces and picking them up. But we haven't been placing a big focus on that or promoting them. But I think, you know, as the next couple of weeks pan out, we're definitely going to kind of push different aspects. You know, we have like linen aprons, and we have our linen tableware. A lot of people are doing up their houses at the moment while they're at home. They're dining outside, they're dressing up their areas. So it is a good chance for us to focus on our other products as well, which we will do. We're just, I suppose, we've been busy, so we will get there. And it's right to do it now while we have that kind of volume and the traction on social.
There's loads of comments coming in, Mary Claire, saying well done and a really good approach, and thank you very much for sharing. There's another question here though. How did you figure out how to price them? And also, does your mask have a filter?
Yes, so in terms of the pricing, initially I was saying to Mary earlier, we actually didn't price them with the full markup that we usually would on our other products. It was just given the circumstance. And at the time, the phone calls that we were getting were from people who were cocooning or people who were sick or vulnerable. And we just didn't feel it was right to price them to be making a profit. So it wasn't our intention to do this to profit, it was to do it to help. Like we have been lucky with the number of orders that we're selling kind of higher volumes, and so it's keeping us sustained, and we've been able to do the charity element as well. So then in terms of the filter, it's just 2 layers of linen, so we don't say that they're medical grade, but we have been looking into it, so we're kind of hoping that we might be able to add that in down the line, but no, they don't have a carbon filter as it is.
Okay, well, that's fantastic, Marie-Claire. I think you've answered all the questions that are there now, and thank you very much for sharing your story. It was fantastic and very interesting how you adapted so quickly, and it's fantastic. They're saying congratulations. There's just a question here, sorry, I didn't see that one. When people are buying the mask, how
when people are buying the mask, are they purchasing other items as well?
Yeah, I mean, in small quantities, like people are mostly buying the masks at the moment, and we haven't really been pushing our other products. So maybe if we kind of take that and do that, we might sell a little bit more. We've just been focusing on the mask production because there's only a few of us here, so in order to keep our other products going at the same level as the masks, we'd struggle a little bit just at the moment, but it has definitely drawn attention to our other products, and we have sold some other products as well, which is great. It's a bonus.
Yes, and you're giving a lot to the Capuchin, aren't you?
Yes, so we're doing like every couple of weeks we're doing a different donation. So we donated to Brother Kevin's, we've donated to On Shield, both of them are in our area, and we've done a couple of other donations as well. We've had a couple of messages from different people who are in need, and the donation will go a long way. So yeah, that's how we've been doing it, and then we've been donating masks as well.
Okay, everybody's overwhelmed by how great your presentation is and that you're sharing. Okay, so we've got here, thanks for sharing. I think you were mentioning how you guys started out not planning on promoting the mass. Do you think you will have any promotion for the mass in the future, or do you think it would be necessary?
As in the kind of PR around it?
Yeah.
I mean, we're hoping that we can sustain doing this a little bit longer. We haven't gone after getting any pieces. I suppose it's just been picked up along the way, and we've been lucky. We haven't put any spend behind it, and as I said, like, we haven't promoted it in the same way we normally would with products. So, I mean, we're kind of doing it to meet the demand. So as long as people are ordering them, we'll still kind of keep going. But I think we'll probably start shifting our focus back towards our normal product range again, and put the spend into that rather than the face masks. Hope that answers your question.
It does. So listen, thank you so much everyone for joining us this afternoon. And it's such a wonderful, wonderful story. Okay, and thank you, Mary. Mary, who's the key anchor today, but I think we all have to be wary of issues, So
issues. Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Everyone. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye, and thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.